Kevin, I have a couple of questions for you.
Shoot, Julie.
So we took a break so that we could go get some more beer, and everybody was kind of milling around Janine's place, getting ready to walk to Empirical Brewery, and we couldn't find you. Where were you?
Yeah, so Janine has a really, guys, for those of you that have never been here, Janine has a beautiful place. There are 2 bathrooms, one of which is tucked away in the bedroom of Chappie. And so I went to Chappie's bathroom, and I went to shake a little dew off the daisy during the break.
Okay, so for those who don't know what the fuck that means, you went to take a piss. And then all of us were getting ready to go. We looked around and we're like, where the hell is Kevin? What happened to you in Chappie's bathroom?
Well, a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, but when I was all done, hands washed thoroughly.
Thank you. We all thank you.
Dried?
Very dry. I mean, I don't know the quality of the towel I was drying them on.
Fine.
But so what you're saying is you were so fresh and so clean.
Yes.
I was.
Well, not fresh and clean enough to get the fuck out of the bathroom.
No, so I tried the doorknob, like I've done millions of times in my life. And big surprise this time, nothing happened. So I did what any responsible adult would do. I called Janine.
And said, Janine?
I didn't say anything. Janine did not answer his phone. And
We were recording a podcast.
No, the podcast recording was done.
I know, but it's not like he's paying attention to his phone.
Oh, it's also because I knew it happened.
So what we're actually saying is...
Hold on, Julie.
Janine is a mastermind.
Yeah, you knew when I went into that restroom that I was going to get locked in.
Well, I'm going to tell you that part of the story if you continue and finish telling me what's happening to you in the bathroom.
So my mindset at this moment is the doorknob is not working. I'm going to call Janine. He lives here. He should be able to get me out. Otherwise, we're not recording the second half of Dudelander, which I know is a terrible travesty to the following listeners, the 6 of you that are actually listening.
Not nerds.
Who are not nerds, but please, guys, you should have already gone to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter when this came out. You should have been. You should have loved it. And you probably saw Neal there.
This is a long bit.
Hold on.
Come on.
So you couldn't get out of the bathroom. You called Janine. He didn't answer. What thought went through your mind?
The only thought that anyone can have when they're trapped in a bathroom: how long does it take before I masturbate in this tiny room?
Excellent. So here's what happened out here. So we're standing around talking, shooting the shit, and then all of a sudden we're like, where the fuck is Kevin? And then Janine starts making a beeline for Chappie's bathroom. He knew. He was like, he's trapped in Chappie's shit can. And then you started banging on the door. So basically, listeners... Kevin got fucking locked in the bathroom.
Listen, I said a lot of mean things about Louis not being able to take a shit. I was not able to get out of a shitter. It was the worst of times. It was not. There was no best. There's no Dickens best. It was just straight up the worst of times. But we're out now, and I'm drinking a lot of beer, and I got a ton of fucking things to say about Scotland.
Excellent.
I would like to provide a very brief summation in a language that fans of Outlander will understand. Hold on. All right. Sing me a song of a lad and a John. Say, could that lad be a fame whore? I've been playing that for like 5 minutes. Nailed it.
That was pretty righteous.
This is what happens when you take too long, Kevin.
Welcome to Podlander Drunkcast, an Outlander podcast. I am Allison Shoemaker.
I'm Julie Starbird.
And say hi, Janine.
Hey.
And we are once again joined by the dudes of Dudelander. Mr. Neal Starbird, say hello, Neal.
Hello.
And Mr. Kevin Lambert, say hello.
I am not a fame whore.
Great. But on that note, I realized that because we took an unexpected break and realized that we should not subject you guys to a 2-hour episode, and then also we were out of beer, that we never got the chance to let Neal and Kevin plug anything they want to plug. So Real quick before we start, Neal, should people find you on social media? Should they follow your weightlifting coach on Facebook? Nothing.
No. I'm cool.
Have you booked any shows or anything?
No.
Great. So occasionally Neal Starbird is an actor in Chicago, and you can find him by Googling, I guess, or just listen to the show and we'll tell you when he's in some shit. Kevin?
So based on when this episode comes out, you just missed me in the final Abbey Fest. But at the end of August, you can see me in a beautiful reading series called Redacted, where I'm living out my greatest dream, playing a role in an iconic film from 1985. Find me on the internet for more information, but you can also follow me on Twitter at not Kevin L. And there I make a lot of jokes about Tinder. So follow me so that my mom is not my only follower.
Important question. Is your updated Tinder bio for today going to be, today I was on an Outlander podcast, #Twinder. I said Twinder again. Somebody create Twinder. A dating app for people who are twins.
I was going to say for people who are twins or to do twins.
Oh.
Both?
Search it right now.
Maybe you have like...
When there's a supply and demand issue.
You
double
can
your
choose
pleasure,
either,
double your fun.
Yeah, Twinder.
I'm taking macroeconomics right now, yeah.
To answer your question, no, I'm never promoting that I was on this podcast anywhere ever.
That is absolutely not true.
You guys, how good was Wizarding World of Harry Potter?
All right, so we're continuing Dudelander, where we talk to two not quite gentlemen about a show that is perceived as being for ladies. In the last episode, we talked about France, about Monsieur Raymond and Bouton and Madame Hildegard on the Louise d'Artois and the... I'm done, sorry. I'm really going to miss the French accent. No. Now we're going back to Scotland. So we're going to get to hear the nicknames that Kevin came up with for our recurring players. We're going to get to talk about that one time that Blackjack Randall beat up the corpse of his dead brother. We're going to get to talk about the fetching red tights of Galen's Duncan. And some other things. So what did you guys think of the second half of season 2?
So I think I said that on the previous episode, but I found that one to have a bit more of a crisp pace for me as we sort of barreled headlong, full of momentum towards the Battle of Culloden Moor. Culloden Moor.
You got it right the first time.
I want to make sure that
now.
Everybody knows that when Neal was mostly sober, before he drank that 40 ounces of oldie English, he said Culloden correctly.
So Cranky Moor happens at the end of the season. And it just feels like a date with destiny at this point, that they've worked so hard in France to try to politically maneuver to try political maneuvers to prevent it from happening, trying to neuter BPD at every turn, and now they find themselves back in Scotland, and even more desperately trying to avert the disaster that Claire has warned them about, all for naught, and it just moves really well for me.
For me, I think some of my favorite moments in the series are the future moments. And so I was actually really happy to see 1968, which was a far departure from 1948, where a very helpful motorist gave Claire a history lesson. Dr. Dre pulled over his car and he said, "Hey, the Scots did not win at Cranium. We're calling it now the Battle of Cranium." Which, if you've ever played Cranium, it is a battle.
No, it's not. Kelly, love you.
Okay, by the way, Kelly, great job when she guest hosted.
That's true.
Did.
Great job. I just love to give shout outs. Use a shout out to Beth Locke. You're a human being, so shout out for that. But no, for me, I loved 1968, because that is when the show gets like really interesting is when they do the time travel aspects and kind of hop back and forth. And I thought, and we'll definitely get into it, but I thought that finale where it bounced back and forth between time, I think was really well done, really well paced out, giving equal amount of time to both timelines, but not sacrificing storytelling in both of those.
Great.
Also, I mean, 1968 gives us that foxy older Claire, and ooh boy, something about those real bad gray highlights just gets my motor revving.
I want to say that looks exactly like my actual hair, so shut your whore mouth.
No, because your actual hair is your actual hair, not
whatever was going on with her wig
not
or whatever.
weird strings they plucked in the middle of her beautiful hair. Like, no.
Yeah, but I got the streaks.
Yeah, but yours are
natural.
clearly real.
You have natural
Hers
gray hair.
clearly
You
were
don't
not.
know.
Yeah.
You don't know that it's real.
That hair was as fake as Jamie's beard. Like,
okay, that's fair. But it was good hair. She had that hairdo. We'll get to 1968.
All right.
Let's continuing sort of the last episode where we split between France and here. Why don't we start with the past and then move to the future? Yeah.
fine.
So, what were moments in our Scotland story that stood out to you? Episodes, performances, great scenes, anything that like especially
Ankles.
didn't work? Ankles?
Yeah.
Oh, the brother.
Oh.
Is
Connor? Is his name Connor?
His name is not Connor.
I'm sorry, you mean King Ricketts. That's what I call
King
him.
Ricketts.
There are way too many nicknames flying around here.
So just so because for those
I cannot believe I didn't come up with that first.
we're talking about Colin Mackenzie. So what works for you about Colin Mackenzie, the laird of the Mackenzie clan?
When we see
King Ricketts.
That King Ricketts, when we see that under the carriage shot of fucking his ankles coming down onto the fucking step, like that,
Because he
just
has
like,
Toulouse-Lautrec syndrome?
yeah, too loose Lautrec. That would just.
That was such a terrible joke.
I don't.
A+.
I don't know why that hit so hard, but I was just like, oh, that's rough.
Yep. Good return.
I'll say this: the DP for this show, whoever that he or she, that beautiful work consistently for a year and a half,
Nailing it.
just beautiful shot upon beautiful shot. Even we disagree on this, but even the sun rising over Dick Rocks.
No,
It's a beautiful shot.
It is a too beautiful shot is the problem.
it's too precious. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, and Jamie's not too beautiful. Let's move on.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't lick the Dick Rocks.
If I wait, hold on. If I lick the Dick Rocks, do I get to go fuck Jamie?
I mean, maybe, but your
question.
tongue will probably be real fucked up.
You know what? It's a price I'm willing to pay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just keep that tucked back in
mean,
mind, grapes.
By the way,
It's his tongue that's
Sam
its issue,
Huon,
right?
Julie and I are both in relationships, but I'm pretty sure both of our gentlemen would be willing to say that this is fine. You can find us on Twinder.
Twitter's actually a real app. So
Is it really?
But it's an app that cleans up your Twitter feed. It's really not exciting.
Oh God, what a waste of a
What
good
a
name.
missed opportunity.
I'm plugging
Janine,
Twitter all this time.
I thought you were going to promote an app where you were trying to pick up twins. I really was hoping that.
It's literally the only option you have is to swipe right on my face.
Swipe left doesn't even work.
It just does that little bouncy thing that always drives you crazy.
Pentaligo Productions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Colin Mackenzie, played by Gary.
I'm looking him up right now.
I love that guy too. That guy is
Isn't he great?
Oh.
He kills it, man.
Jeez, I can't.
So we see him twice. There's the first episode in the second half of the season.
Gary Lewis.
The first episode in the second half of the season where
Fox's
Jamie,
lair, when they go back to
Fox's lair.
Granddad's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Jamie goes to kick the shit verbally out of his grandpa, and then Claire's like, I'm having a vision.
Yeah,
and
that
fucking Leary
dude.
is there. Fuck that
Yeah,
shit.
the granddad, the asshole granddad.
Yeah, I just want to say
Yeah.
because I mentioned it in the previous episode how I didn't actually find the like intrigue and court intrigue and stuff of the Paris to actually be that intriguing.
No, I'm punching them.
But all the shit with Grandpa and Connor.
Calm.
King Ricketts.
All the shit with Grandpa and King Ricketts, like that, and Jamie, and that whole, like, all the political... And Dougal, and all the political play that was going on there, that was all captivating. Mm-hmm. That all felt like legit power plays and stuff, and, like serious, court politics
You
going
know
on.
what? One of the things I like most about that, I'm glad you mentioned Dougal, is this is actually much more obvious on the show than it is in the books, is that that's not a thing Dougal is capable of. Mm-hmm. Like, he's all id, right? Like, he doesn't have it in him to negotiate. He doesn't doesn't do the political machinations. He doesn't know how to do it, right?
No, is that true? Because his whole thing with wanting to marry Claire is because of getting Lollybrook.
Property, and it's not subtle.
Okay.
Right? Like, Colum would have figured out a way.
Right, it takes her 2 seconds to figure out what he's after.
Yeah, exactly. And then it doesn't work, right? Whereas Colum, has a kid by his brother and shuts down him and Gayless, and we'll get to all of that, and then figures out a way, he wants to be neutral, and he eventually talks to Jamie about whether or not he should get involved, and figures out that he wants to control his own death, and Colum is an intellectual powerhouse.
Yeah.
And Dougal is all feelings. Dougal is all running down the fucking hill in his kilt covered in mud.
Dougal is Sonny Corleone.
Yes! Oh, that's great!
It continues to be true.
It is true.
Yeah.
I like to refer to him as the man who invented golf.
Dougal?
Because if
You talking about Gilf?
Yeah, because golf obviously is a very Scottish sport.
Gilf. I like it.
Gilf.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Don't make those
Gilf golf.
associations. It's not that at all.
Too late. Gilf golf.
No, if you think about, God, you know what? Golf was invented in Scotland. Who is the type of person that would invent golf? It's a bald man with a beard and a kilt that just runs shirtless throughout the lands.
Great beard.
Yeah, he does really
You know
have a
what,
good beard.
Neil, as a man with a great beard,
I appreciate you saying that.
you do. You have a great beard. I feel like you, of all people, are highly qualified to judge a man's beard.
I feel like I learned a lot about bearding from the Gilf.
What kind of oil do you use on your beard? Do you use a beard oil?
All natural from my pores, my friend.
Do you?
I make my own.
Do you have a
as it
comb?
were.
Do you comb it?
I do comb it. Once a day.
Do you have like a sandalwood comb? What type of comb
No,
do
it's
you
like
use?
one of those little plastic fucking combs.
Guys,
like
this has been Dudelander on Drunkclander, the podcast.
Just
talking about dude stuff.
Real quick, just because it's one of the only glimpses we get of her in season 2. Can we talk just for a second about the fucking wonder that is Jenny Murray?
Yes.
Oh, no.
His sister.
So I watched season 2 before I watched the second half of season 1.
So today he got a little bit more familiar with Jenny from
Yeah, I binged on the second half of season 1 today just to try to get a little bit more under my belt, as it were, before... Is that the phrase?
Under my kilt.
Under my kilt? Great. I tried to shove some more up there before I came in for the podcast.
This is like slightly to the left of the girthy flaccid penis.
Right. And so I watched season 2 before I watched the second half of season 1, and so she was minimal impact for me in season 2.
Because she only really has that.
That monologue
is really
the
good.
family at Lollybrook was largely just static to me.
I was very upset with that. I'm a big fan of Jenny from the Lollybrook, and
Oh! I'm sorry, that's
Wow.
excellent. That's as good as any
good.
other nickname we've had.
Oh, it's good.
I'm
Slow clap.
I'm mostly just sitting here in stunned disbelief.
because yes, there's a lot of disbelief that I could come up with something clever like that.
I think Julie might have just had a stroke.
It's not. It's just. It's literally like as people are talking, I'm sitting watching you, Kevin, and it came into his head like 5 minutes ago.
He's been holding on to it.
He's been waiting for a lull.
That must have been rough.
It's not true. My head is always vacant. No, I'm a big fan of her. In season 1, I think when she... Just the shit she rolls through in season 1, and I don't want to talk about it because we're only talking about season 2 right now, but...
True dat.
Double true. And... ooh, dead air is the best air. And...
We've had our share, don't worry.
No, it's only like that minimal impact of her. I'm glad that she had a really great moment, but I would have liked to have had more of her throughout. But obviously the story doesn't lend itself that way.
Sure.
And I'm not... Who wrote these books?
Diana Gabaldon.
Diana Gabaldine?
Gabble dog.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
So Diana, Yo Gabba Gabba.
God, they're getting jokes we should have gotten 6 months
I know,
ago
what the
right now.
fuck?
God,
You know what?
You've
Fuck the
written great
patriarchy.
books, and they're like, they're like Harry Potter. You write this universe, and you're not always going to get the Sirius Black that you want. You get the Sirius Black that you need. And so I wanted more Jenny, but I was really happy that monologue where she's looking, and every woman I've ever met's ovaries just erupted when
James
Not mine.
Ginger James Bond was holding a baby.
Mine are like dried tiny raisins.
Yeah, but they still like puffed like dust.
They didn't puff like dust. My eyes puff like dust.
Okay, that's
These
great.
don't move.
So your ovaries have moved to your eyes, and that's great.
Oh, yes!
Ovary eyes.
What the hell
Yeah,
is
I wish you
happening?
could all see this. Neal is holding a boombox over his head right now.
Nobody can actually see you do that. He did it again. All right, so what you guys are saying is that Jenny is the best. Agreed.
Jenny from the Lallybrock.
Jenny
Jesus
from the
Christ.
Lallybrock is the best.
God, that's excellent. I also really like Ian though, and here's the thing: when we go this episode where we go back to Lallybrock, we also, as we were walking to Empirical, what's up, Empirical? Hey.
Thanks for the discount.
Yeah, thanks for the discount. This time we got a discount, which means we're 80% still sponsored by us and 20% sponsored by them.
Empirical Brewery.
Yeah. Empirical Brewery, the science of beer. Isn't it something like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nailed it. So, one of the things that we realized
Exploring the science.
exploring the science of exploring the wizarding world of Harry Potter. So, one of the things we realized in the walk is that somehow we got through the whole French season without talking about Fergus, other than when I would say sick burn Fergus. And he deserves his due. And he has a great moment in that episode when he rides in on the donkey ready to go to war. Mm-hmm. And Jamie is like, no, you have to go with your commander, Murta. And Fergus is like, meh. And Murta's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Mm-hmm. This is the episode I didn't see.
Is
You didn't
it?
see the Fox's Lair?
No, I saw the Fox's Lair.
That's it.
That's the same episode?
Yes.
Yeah. It's when they're about to leave Lallybrock
at
to go
Lallybroch.
It's the
visit
episode
Granddad.
after that I didn't see.
Okay, well, we're not there yet.
Okay, all right. So then I saw what you're talking about, and I know all about it.
There is something from France we never talked about, so I'm going to backtrack just a hair.
All right.
That, honestly, the brothel is the Chili's of France, because that is where business gets done. And so talking about Fergus, we're obviously going to move forward, but you know what? If I went, the amount of times I've been to a skin bar in my life, business has never gotten done. So I'm extremely impressed that they were able to start the seeds of this revolution.
Can I say that I'm really impressed that BPD didn't die of syphilis? Maybe he did. I don't know how he died.
Did he actually
history
sleep?
check.
Did he sleep with an actual professional while he was there?
Well, he was being made out with and stuff, so it was
He
pretty
might.
clear.
I mean, I
But
think
he-
that we can assume if his chosen meeting place is a brothel,
Yeah.
He's
that he
doing it
busted
with
a nut
someone.
from time to time.
We also did not talk about Butt Boob Lady. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, in the show when they turned around, they had the mask on one side of the face.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Are they
Yeah.
butts or are they boobs? You never know. But you know
Yeah.
what? That's the beauty, and that's why they're going to win an Emmy for costume design.
I do want to get back to Scotland and so we can get to 1968 eventually, but
Sure.
I do want to say, fuck, man, Blackjack and Fergus, like,
Oh God.
That's a little bit later.
No, let's
No,
talk about
no,
that.
that's in
Is it the
Paris.
same episode?
What's in Paris?
It's in
that's
Paris.
right.
We,
You know,
skipped, we
and
didn't
just
because we didn't talk about
talk about it in the last episode.
I'm
so I
pretty
just-
sure that maybe we all mentally blocked the fact that Fergus gets child raped. Oh, we have an answer on BPD?
He died of a stroke.
Oh.
Nah, I know. But
I'm trying not to judge the actual historical figure by the representation that's given on the show.
No, I mean,
Although
But I
I'll
can't
tell
help
you
but
what.
feel like
Look at the
that's
picture
too
of this
good for
the
him.
actual historical figure looks a lot like Andrew Gower.
yeah.
But I do really like jumping to 1968, where Claire is in that museum and someone's like, look at him, he was so great. He's like, no, he was actually like just a big piece of shit.
And he wasn't that tall.
Oh, yeah, pickle gas.
I just saw the picture of one of the Bonnie Prince Charles, and it's of the freaking plaid costume.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
the plaid costume.
Oh my God.
That's a real
Yeah.
painting.
Cheers, Terry Dustbaugh.
his pandering ass tartan costume that he wears.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Did you know that? I had no
I'd seen it
idea.
before, but I hadn't thought about it.
That's excellent.
That's amazing.
It's the only episode Janine has watched, so he was ready to know.
He was on that.
Yeah.
All right, so Fergus
Just
in the brothel.
walking out looking like wallpaper man cave.
let's just go ahead and say it was incredibly brutal, but handled tastefully and
it was impactful. I just, because we didn't mention it in the previous episode, I just wanted to give a little lip service to that shit.
So we're back. So the Fox's Lair is the episode with Leary McKenzie, who won an award. Am I wrong? Did she? At least she was nominated for the worst line of the season.
Yes, worst line of the season.
Did she win a Lambert? Did she win the
She
Lambert
definitely
Award?
got nominated for a Lambert. I don't know if she won.
I hope to one day earn your forgiveness. I can't do his
Forgiveness, and then he walks away.
And your love.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Fuck her, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I'm sorry. I just watched The Witch's Trial today from season 1, but fuck her.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that episode when we do season 1.
Yeah.
But hey, no, we're saving it for 1968. We'll get back to Gay List. Anyway,
Right.
So the Fox's Lair is the intrigue and Claire faking her witch fit. Can we say witch fit? Is that it? Yeah.
Witch fit is great.
Witch fit.
Which she has already done in France once.
Yeah.
knows
I'm a
it
white
works.
witch.
Yes.
Come out.
Come on, it's 2016. We don't need that.
a good witch. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we move to Jamie and little baby Fox, the one who had the big hots for old Leary, showing up, and that's the training montage episode.
Oh, that's true.
What did you guys think about the? You're both gentlemen. Well, sort of. You're familiar with the training montage. I assume that you're constantly watching training montages.
Is this the episode after The Fox's Lair?
Yeah.
This is the one I didn't see.
Oh, training montage.
You watch Rocky, come on.
First off, yes, I'm overly familiar with the training montage. I thought this show was better than a training montage.
Oh, okay.
The episode, you mean?
The episode really was mostly training montage, though, when they're trying to train all the
The
poor,
show had great moments, like Jamie's speech to them about, like, listen, this is why you have to keep your ranks. That's great. That's a really great moment.
That is
This
great.
is also the moment.
One of his better moments in the season.
It also features Claire having a
PTSD.
very accurate and very emotionally honest reaction to PTSD, like experiencing that, and I think in a great way. She is. I know in the last episode I talked about how great you looked in that red dress, and I know you're listening, but you're an exceptionally talented actress. You do really great work, and this is a shining example of that in this episode. But I think that the episode on a whole suffers because even Rocky 5 has a montage, to paraphrase South Park a little bit. Like, the montage, I think...
Yeah.
You don't like the montage.
No, I thought
the rest of it.
I thought this show is better than a montage.
Like, it shouldn't have had a montage.
Yes.
Yes, I think that...
I'm good with that. That's also the episode where we have mentioned this scene like 5 times, so apparently made an impact on all of us, where the Gilf goes running down the hill.
Yeah.
The Gilf Golf.
I'm sorry, the man who created golf.
The Gilf Golf goes running down the hill in his kilt.
Which they threw into the opening credits, even. It was so good they threw it into the opening credits.
I was so sousing it. Goes running down I just like right hill in his kilt with the silt on his filt. I don't know. I did a gesture that tried to make that face, but I couldn't make it happen. Anyway, so that's the Id Gilf episode. That's him being like, here's how you fight a war, and Jamie being like, no, that's not how you fight a war.
But, okay, so as a man that just watched the terrible Mel Gibson film The Patriot today, which highlights guerrilla warfare.
You know, I feel like that's good preparation for this podcast, actually.
I was at a bar and it was on IFC, because apparently that's how good of a film The Patriot is.
Oh, boy.
IFC, you're better than that.
Hayden Christensen in that shit?
No.
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 It's one of those dudes.
No,
It's
you
not.
You mean Heath Ledger?
Oh, R.I.P.
You mean R.I.P. Heath Ledger. Also R.I.P. one of his daughters who also died, but whatever. So, but like that movie preaches guerrilla warfare, and I kind of respect the man who created golf. I kind of respect his strategy of
Gilf Golf.
you know the terrain better, which comes into play later when Gilf takes a bullet off of his knit cap. like knowing the turf and like
that's
wanting to get into it.
Next episode.
That's a separate episode.
So it's obviously a separate episode, and I think that's a natural transition. But real quick, Je suis prêt, the episode we're talking about, is also where we meet. God, they don't call him William Gray. What the fuck?
John Gray, I think.
No, they call him William Gray, and he's actually John Gray. Yes, that kid that tries to kill Jamie, and then they fool him into thinking, oh, you didn't see this. There's no way to not spoil that. There's a major...
all this fucking time watching season 1 today, and I totally forgot that I hadn't seen this episode of season 2, which is what we're talking about.
A really great scene,
I
will
said
say
it to you
that,
like 5 times.
where Claire and Jamie do their yes and again.
For someone that has not read the books, that scene really does not resonate. Like, it works in the fact that you're like, wow, look at them improvise. That
Doesn't happen in the books. That's not what happens in the books.
Thing that you guys are doing well. You're a regular Don't Think Twice by Mike Birbiglia. Go see that movie. It's great. But at the same time, that scene, because I don't know who that guy is, and you clearly, as you've stated... Listeners, go back and listen to, what is this episode? Go listen to that episode to get Allison and Julie's thoughts. But clearly,
I don't want to spoil things.
He's a character that comes back,
important character,
and resonates. But at the time, it's kind of meaningless.
Although, you know what? When you're reading the book, maybe that's an adaptation problem. Because when you're reading the book, you never assume he's going to come back ever. And it's still a great scene. So I don't know. Maybe it's an adaptation issue. Anyway, John William Gray. That's also the most sexually frustrating moment in the second half.
Yes, because they do have the guerrilla warfare that night where they do go down, remember? And like Jamie comes back.
No, I'm sorry. They actually don't go down.
No.
Nobody goes
right.
down.
They don't go down, but they do go kill some British dudes down the hill.
They don't kill British dudes. They steal the wheels off of cannons.
The cotter pins so that the wheels can't roll.
But they also set the wheels on fire.
Right.
Which Jamie flogged himself for having an exposed fire. So what good is it to burn more wheels and create a fire?
Because wheels in the sky keep on burning.
All right.
Okay, I respect that you really wanted to sing that. It was great, but honestly...
We're going to have to really make sure we keep this one under the radar. No rights. We can't pick the rights.
But this is the one where he comes back from the cotter pin raid.
And he's like ready to do it.
No, we're ready for them to do it. She is ready for him to do it. And he says... You got to get dressed.
He's also ready. I can feel the pre-cum leaking out of his dick. But
Dudelander.
But they gotta go.
But he is also okay. Jamie, here are things that Jamie's good at. Jamie is good at chess. Jamie is good at making a cheese plate, I assume.
Sign language.
Jamie is great at ASL. Somehow he knows American Sign Language. Jamie...
He's a polyglot.
He can speak many languages.
Jamie, it's not invented yet, but he is...
Type with his feet.
He is very good at Monopoly. And also Tripoli.
He also expert bean flicker. We can't.
Yeah. Don't leave that out.
But here's what he's also really great at. Knowing how much time you have in any given situation.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually pretty true.
Which makes him an expert bean flicker because I only got so much time to flick that bean.
So I got to do this now.
I got to get in there and I got to flick it twice and I got to flick it hard because twice is all it takes. 2 pumps!
That's a really great point. We've got 2 instances of 2 pumps in season 2. And in one, it's closing your eyes and thinking of England. And in the other, it's emotional turmoil leading to orgasm. Anyway, 2 pumps.
2 pumps.
That's all. No, this is not true, but I really need to make a joke about how that's what I get in my vanilla soy latte or whatever the fuck. Because it's too obvious, but that's not true. I just drink coffee like a normal person. But it was just out there.
You don't take 2 pumps of cream in your coffee?
No.
Ooh, guys, this has been Dudelander. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. So moving from
Je suis prêt to pressed on pan,
which is the Gilf.
Pressed on pan.
Gilf gets that right across
Yeah, this
his
is where he
field
rides the
scalp.
horse down to the marsh.
Isn't it the most badass moment in season 2? I think it might be. On his horse, spreading his arms.
No, it's not.
Okay, what is?
Well, I don't want to say. We're going to get to that episode when we get to that episode.
All right, okay. But it's pretty badass.
No, because the whole thing is set up to where it's like, well, fuck, if the man that invented golf dies, we just don't have golf. We don't really care. He's set up to fail, and they're just really happy he succeeds.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, we're going to give him this. It's
He's expertly emotionally manipulated by Jamie into volunteering.
Yes, nobody I work with will listen to this, but it's like when you give that one person in my office that job, that it's like, well, if you're going to fail at this, nobody really cares, but if you succeed, then, we're all really happy. Person. And it's like that, and they're all really happy because it's like, okay, if this horse gets stuck and they didn't gauge the distance of the shot right, well, this hot-headed guy dies, and then actually the cause might be better served because they don't have a dissenter in their ranks.
Mm-hmm. It was a really tense moment.
Oh,
it was a very tense scene.
Very well handled. And then we get that great bit where Angus doesn't, R.I.P., we'll get there, where he doesn't realize that he's talking to BPD. And he's like, oh, he's my friend. Yeah, who are you? And he's like, I'm your prince. And he's like, oh.
And I think I even had a little bit of a moment where I felt kind of sorry for the British guys. Like, oh, those poor stormtroopers over there who just can't hit the side of a barn with their... I mean, black powder is an imprecise weapon.
I mean, they can hit the side of a head, right? He gets a little nick on his cranium.
But because even when he went out there, they're all sort of just kind of like, all right, we'll do this. They were sort of like, they had a very... The British soldiers in that moment had a very much like, we don't want to be here any more than anybody else wants to be here moment. But that dude's out there, so now we have to go shoot at him. Yeah. And they failed. Hit him. Even after he lingered,
It sets up also one of the best jokes in season 2. It's right up there with I Closed My Eyes and Thought of England, which is when he gets off the horse that he was riding with a kilt on and says that he shed his pants.
Yeah, he's like, repair my something, shut my breeches or something.
Yeah, and I was like, Dougal, come on. We all know you're not wearing anything under that kilt.
Yeah.
There's anybody on this show who is not wearing anything under their kilt, it's totally the Gilf.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gilf Golf.
Commando. I mean, he is literally commando.
Oh, he's totally commando. He's going to be Gilf
just
Golf
two dimpled
forever.
balls bouncing along.
To correct you, he's not going to be Gilf Golf forever.
No.
We've all seen the finale of this season.
No, but we are going to call him Gilf Golf forever.
Yeah.
Oh, your memories.
This is the one episode Janine watched.
Janine, watch more than one episode
All right.
and get over it.
No,
So
never.
Preston Pans is also the episode where they win the battle. It's the episode where Fergus is like super sexist and making all that noise.
He doesn't want to work with the lady nurses.
Is this the episode where
they had the actual pissing contest where the British people have to come in and
it's the big thing is it's the episode where he spent a lot of time with the two pairs of friends and one half of each pair dies.
the
pig farmer and his buddy can
But
be
no, is this
friends.
the episode where Sick Burn Fergus goes into battle, or does that happen?
Yes. In the
Okay,
slow-mo
dude,
sequence.
that's-
We're talking about the fight. We're talking about the battle now. We're
Yeah,
talking
Preston
about
Pans is the innocent.
Yeah, Preston Pans. Yeah.
That's a really great moment of what battle really is that we're sending fucking children out there.
Well, he snuck out there, but yes.
He snuck out there,
but they don't
but-
know any better.
He doesn't-
Right?
he doesn't-
A
he-
child who doesn't know any better, thinking he's going to march off to war, not having any idea what
Thinking
he's
how
going
easy it
do,
is to kill a man, and once you experience that, what that means as a person, it's you know what? For a show that I would never actively seek, you do so many things well that I am like, that is how I would approach storytelling. I would take, you have these great opportunities and you seize all of them, but at the same time, you have a man who invents golf and he never plays golf.
As far as you know.
So error, you
Wait,
guys.
actually, I do think we get to see him playing lawn
Plays field hockey. He plays field hockey.
But then he does
not the
beat
game
the
he
shit
invented.
out of people.
Also in season 1, he spends a lot of time getting a hole in one.
Oh.
He actually gets a hole in many.
I'm pretty sure he only bones Galus.
I feel like this metaphor
He's
is
bones
breaking down.
Galus, but he's technically has
boned
his own wife.
sister-in-law, and he's got his wife.
Yeah, he's got a kid that he can't ever hang out with.
Yeah, but he doesn't, as far as we know, does not have an ongoing sexual relationship with his sister-in-law, and his wife lives in a different place.
I know it's
and
not
they routinely
Scottish.
talk about how ugly she is.
But is that a mulligan? Is that what you would call that?
And that's why he invented golf.
Yes.
Gilf Gall. All right,
mulligan.
we'll get there. So
All right.
anyway, Preston Pans. Anything else that we need to mention in that one? I don't think so.
No, we have to talk about
Oh, Gilf kills a dude in a pretty brutal fucking
No,
moment.
Gilf.
Oh, yeah.
Gilf
Oh, the
finished
guy
the
from
job.
season 1.
Yes.
Remember the
Good
soldier
callback.
from season 1 who
Yeah.
who tries to save Claire, and it's an upsetting it's one of the best episodes. And then fucking R.I.P. Angus.
Angus.
dies at the
What's
end.
Angus's nickname?
Jesus Christ.
Angus is his nickname. I'm about to offend a large amount of listeners, so 4 of you get really ready to write me your hate mail. But I like to call Angus grown-up Peter Dinklage because he looks exactly like Peter Dinklage. If you were a full-sized human, and I'm going straight to hell, don't have to write me that. I already know.
Peter Dinklage doesn't give a fuck. He'll just clock you over the head with his multiple Emmys.
Both are great, and they are fantastic actors, and I look forward to seeing both of them in anything they do. But honestly, they have the same forehead.
They do have the same forehead.
And it's
That's
not
true.
even a forehead; it's like a 6 head, and I respect that.
I just looked at the picture. It's you're right.
Yeah, thank you, Janine.
Although, you know what?
Thank
I'll
you.
say what you just said about them both being great actors. One of the things I love about that episode is that guy has been like on funny duty for a season and a half. I just said duty. Funny duty for a season and a half, and then he gets to show some real chops before he dies.
Yeah.
They both do. The guy who plays Rupert, too.
All 4. The
Real
pig
chops.
fucker farmer. What do we call him?
Well, they're 2 pig farmers, and we always forget their names, so we just call them the pig farmers.
No. So there's the pig farmer.
Yes.
Not fucker, and
They're both married.
but this is the episode where they give
There's
away
the one
their.
that dies and the one that lives.
Yeah, there's the
This is where they give away their property, and they have that
Yes.
great moment
Yeah.
of like,
Yes.
you can take my sword, which leads to
got
what
money
is
buried in the
Rupert? What is his
field.
name? Rupert?
Rupert is the one that lives.
Like,
Angus
yeah.
is the one
Takes
that
a
dies.
sword after Angus dies.
Grant O'Rourke is the name.
Grant
The
O'Rourke.
teddy bear from Family Guy, Rupert. Neil gets it. That moment where he just gets up, he should be dying.
Stands up and goes and gets
Great-
his sword.
Just great moments.
Yeah.
Great moments.
Eyes watering, like, fucking.
My favorite moment, though, is the very end where
Where they're
it's
singing.
him and the pig farmer that's still alive, and they come out
Sing
and
the
he
song.
is singing, and it's like his eyes are dead.
Sing me a
It's not that song, no.
Oh my god, no.
Okay,
Of a
sorry,
lad
sorry.
and a John. So after that, we get more Rupert, and we'll get there because I can't wait to talk about Rupert's one-eyed comedy act. But after Preston Pans, we get
Vengeance is mine.
Vengeance is Mine, otherwise known
As the return of the queen.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
which is Purse First. So
Oh,
talk to
man.
me, gentlemen, about the Duke of Sandringham.
Fuck, that dude is the best. That guy never saw a piece of scenery that he didn't think tasted great. He is just going for it. He was like, and I don't know when he knew that character was going to die, but he clearly was just like, from day one, from the jump, that guy was ready.
Simon Callow.
Simon Callow, hats off to you, my friend.
Heads off to you.
Heads off.
Hats
Like,
off. Okay,
literally.
surprise.
This is the episode. By the by, listener, I watched a lot of these episodes playing a great Sudoku on my iPad and like looking up periodically. And so is this the one where...
If you missed any of this one, you missed out. This is the one where he gets decapitated.
Okay, yeah. So this is the church scene before...
Yeah, where
Yeah.
Rupert has all the great eye puns.
Where, yeah,
I wanted to get a
looked-
closer look at a musket
Yes.
ball.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they're
Give
up
her
at
a
the
wink
Duke's
for me.
house.
Yeah.
And the Duke,
And the Duke is surrounded.
Yeah, where Kyle gives herself up to save everybody.
And little baby Mary Hawkins
Oh,
gets
Mary
to murder
Hawkins, who we
her
haven't
rapist.
talked about once.
Oh,
You know, Mary Hawkins is Janine's favorite.
Mary Hawkins is
Rosie Day. Yeah.
Mary Hawkins is a handful.
Yeah.
I think I was not a huge fan of her in Paris because I thought that she was cloying. But once we got back to Scotland and she grew the biggest balls I've ever seen on a woman. She was great. She was an
Without
actual...
the flaccid penis.
No, she did not have a girthy, flaccid penis. But she had balls because she took into her own fucking hands what needed to happen.
Yeah.
She killed Birthmark. Right, by the by.
Yeah, birthmark.
Why didn't
Birthmarks-
birthmark like be a thing though? Like, shouldn't we have seen that earlier?
It should have been more like a Scooby-Doo episode. Like, we saw the birthmark. Who's going to get him?
Right.
And then, like, they pull back a mask on the Duke of Sandringham and his entire body's birthmark.
Yes. It's like, if it wouldn't have been for you lousy
But let's real
kids.
quick. I mean, so we're giving it up to Rupert's eye puns. I really love them. That chase scene is as good as any car chase scene.
Oh, Jesus,
when
hell
they're
yes.
like running through the woods.
And
all
isn't
that's
that
great.
the one where Gilf grabs dude off of his horse and jumps?
Uses the dude's body to leverage himself off of his own horse and lands on the other guy's horse. It's so fucking good. It's great. And Fergus is there.
R.I.P. G.I. Elf.
That man invented golf.
Gilf golf.
All right, you guys, I have to say this.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to say this because I feel responsible. We're spending so much time on episode to episode. We haven't even gotten to 1968 yet.
I
No,
know.
all right. But we'll get to 1968 because those episodes are coming. We're going faster, but we gotta give our due to Simon Callow, who gives the best drag performance on television outside of RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's so good. It was the best possible send off for him. He just went off. He went out just blazing.
Headless but on top. He got to, so this is the first episode that was written by Diana Gabaldon.
Go Gabba Gabba.
Joe Gabba Gabba. So she's responsible for what I think it won the award. If not, it was in the hunt for our best sick burn, which was Julie.
In those coats.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's just a really good line. Kevin, did you respond as positively to that episode as we did?
Nope.
All right, hit us.
No, it's a great episode. In many ways, I felt it was a filler, goodbye episode. Of we needed to save some time before. What's his name? Mudmouth. What's his name? Horrocks gives the message to Jimbone to say, "Come and save Claire."
Oh!
Wow. Too many nicknames.
Wow, you just rolled out a lot of new nicknames.
Oh, I'm sorry. Horrocks? Not a new nickname. A legit character name.
It's not his name.
It's the same thing. And so...
It's not. What he's talking about, I can't remember the character name right now because we're on Growler 3 from Empirical. But, what the fuck is his name? Dragonfly and Amber guy.
Oh,
I don't know.
Sign language guy.
I don't have a sign. I don't know.
Oh,
Jeff Goldblum.
No, the
Yes.
mute. The mute. Yes.
Anyway, oh God, I feel so bad.
I thought his
He's a
name was
wonderful
Horrocks.
actor.
Oh, because of the
No,
guy.
Horrocks is
Guy.
the guy from season 1.
What did he do?
He
That-
was the mute.
Your
bum.
the dude you're thinking of
Go.
creates in sign language the name of Horrocks by holding a rock. And it's the guy that Jamie thinks is going to be able to clear him of his murder or accusation. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh, this is not
that guy. Oh, Ned. Is it Ned?
I think it is something like Ned.
Yeah,
Let's just
fine.
go with
Anyway,
Ned.
he's really good. So
Ned Gowan.
Ned Gowan. No,
Bill
that's the
Patterson?
lawyer.
No.
That's the
Okay.
lawyer. Doesn't matter.
I've totally forgotten what we're talking about.
So, in Vengeance is Mine, the subplot is that when Claire is being dragged around by the British Army,
Yeah.
she runs into a guy from season 1, friend of Jamie's, who had
Right.
his tongue cut out by the Turks.
Yes.
Right?
ASL.
Who then tells Jamie what is going on.
Right.
Right? So, that's what we were talking about.
Jamie come to the house and helps Murtaugh and Jamie get her out.
And in
Yes.
the book, he dies, and in the show, he doesn't. So, there's the thing.
Maybe he should have. I think it would have been more interesting.
Oh, boy.
Kevin, can I ask you a question?
Hit me.
About the Duke of Severingham.
Sandringham.
No, I got it. Go.
It sounds to me like it's possible that you didn't enjoy the Duke, quite as much as we did. Do you think that's possibly because you watched the entire show by yourself?
You know what? I don't think I enjoyed the Duke, as you say. Yeah, I think that it's a
Human Row! Keep going.
Human row.
Horrocks.
Human roe,
No,
which is the eggs of a person.
We made that joke on our podcast already.
Did we?
Human roe.
Keep going.
Sick burn, Fergus. No, I watched every single episode entirely by myself.
Yeah.
And I think that there's an element of you guys viewing it as like an event that you might have celebrated it more.
Yeah.
Because I watched things by myself, I was able to, I don't know, play a bunch of Sudokus while like watching things as we do in 2016.
And so, I mean, in general, how did you feel about the Duke?
What a liquid you put on that.
He's real good at it.
I think that, I mean, like, I enjoyed his character. I think that he did a great job, but I'll be very honest with you. It was an iPad down moment when they got into that kitchen scene and all of a sudden Jamie showed up. They realized that, like, Birthmark was the guy.
When
like,
shit got real.
Yeah. That was an iPad down moment.
I just realized that's like a whole new like.
But up until
There's a couple of iPad
up
down
until
moments.
that point, you were just
getting
like
to another
checking
one.
in occasionally.
They were on, and I was giving them 60% of my attention throughout. So all of the things that I've said so far, listener, they have all been through the lens of 60% of my attention.
Oh, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that anyone who's listening can tell the scenes you actually paid attention to, because you are talking a good game about how little you paid attention, and then you have really insightful things to say. So you accidentally are doing a great job.
Yeah, no, everything I do is an accident.
But so the Duke wasn't your jam, quite to the extent that he was our jam.
He's like, I think he does a really great job, but I'm not sitting there in a room full of people where he comes on and he just crushes a scene, and
Yeah.
in a room of people I could see how you'd be like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
that shit's great. And in
Yeah.
my eyes, I'm sitting there going, do I need to turn the volume down? Because my
Right,
roommate's
right.
in the other room watching actual interesting
He's also
things.
sitting there watching, and the Duke's.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow, you know what? That actually shows how ignorant you are about great acting, because this guy destroyed it.
Kevin is sitting there and he's
Let him know about it,
watching,
Julie. Shit.
and Simon Cowell does something great, and he goes, "In those coats."
I do not know what that means, but sure.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't know. No, he does a great job, but to me, the iPad down moment of the episode is when all of a sudden the kitchen is full of everybody, and
Oh, it's when it turned into an action movie and not a chamber
And
piece.
Murtaugh cuts his fucking head
Yup.
off. Is it when Murtaugh cuts his fucking
No,
head off?
Lays his vengeance at her feet.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Which is
Murtaugh.
Temple Moose.
Oh,
Great.
Pamplemousse for life.
all that is great. But no, it's actually before that. I think it's when Mary finally says, "I'm not a victim anymore." That shit's that's a great moment.
Not in the books.
And you know what? That's why books are dumb and TV is better.
Yeah, and it's true though. It's just the intro to her showing some initiative of her own, which we'll see in the next few episodes.
And this seems like a great transition to that episode.
Yeah.
Unless R.I.P.
We all
let's
know
roll.
what happened.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Look, Simon Cowell, great. That head off, that's great. Head off applied directly
So
to
the
the
next
forehead.
episode is called "Nobody Gives a Fuck" because it's the corpse punching episode.
It's the
Yeah.
Randall Brothers
Oh, Jesus
show.
Christ. So yeah, the fucking Randall Brothers show.
That was the
fucking-
most shocking thing I saw on television this year, and I watch a lot of fucking TV.
No, and that's Tobias, young Patrick Stewart, like doing his fucking that guy just killing
Also,
it.
let's raise a glass to that casting director who found the
found
itty
his
bitty
little
baby
brother?
version of
Great job.
Tobias
Yes.
Momo.
Yeah, because
Yes.
they did look exactly
It's crazy.
alike.
Also, but great. It's not just a physical resemblance.
For
right?
the listener, none of those sounds are plastic. We have finished our 40s hours ago. They're all glass now.
Now we're empirical, exploring the science of beer.
No, and this is the whole thing, right? The whole time, I read a lot of sci-fi. I watch a lot of sci-fi shows. The feeling of inevitability has really built to a peak at this point in the show. That there is nothing they can do. That every single decision they make and everything they fight to accomplish only serves to create the history that
already exists.
that Claire has, that is already in Claire's past.
Can I ask the question because of my own shotgunningness of this series and everything's a fucking whitewash?
Yeah.
Except for the boobs.
No, the boobs are all individually. So the boobs come in episode 1.
Oh, that's your question. What's your question?
So, okay, is this the episode where we finally get what we all have in our guts have felt happen to Fergus? But this is where we like fully get this is what happened to Fergus with Blackjack Randall.
Oh, no, that was way back.
That
was in France.
happened a while back.
But this is the first time we see Blackjack in person.
In Scotland.
It's the first time it's post.
Yes.
Like post with.
Look at the guy who's never seen an episode
No,
except
he
the
knows.
finale.
Yeah.
So
Look at
we
him.
see Blackjack Randall get the dick stab, and then in the next episode, we see Fergus having nightmares about being
Okay.
raped.
So
Yeah.
this
So what
is
is-
like 3 episodes later.
But this is the first time we see Blackjack.
Since he got his
In
dick
Scotland.
stabbed.
In Scotland.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
This is the scene in the bar between
Yes,
Claire
where
and
he's
Blackjack / Claire and Frank / everything
the whole
ever.
thing is that Blackjack is willing to provide Claire with intelligence so that she will provide medical help to his brother, which she would do anyway. And like a badass bitch, she's like, no, I won't unless you help me, even though she totally would have.
Well, and that's what. I'm sorry, I don't want to step on your point, Kevin. I'm going to make a larger point, but this is what I'm talking about this feeling of inevitability. Inevitability is that he provides the intelligence. The intelligence leads to not, right?
Because they don't do it.
Because they
of
stage. They
BPD.
stage.
Yeah,
Well,
because
also
They
the
try to
real-
stage the attack on the birthday party, and Bonnie Prince Douchebag insists on him and McIrishman like being the ones to lead one wing, one horn of the 2-horn fucking attack, and those guys
Get lost.
Get lost.
Yeah, they get some mud on their shoes, and they just had to go back, and so the whole thing it doesn't work out, right? And it's just
Mud on their
it's
patronizing
just
kilts.
that Culloden Moore
is inevitable.
going to happen because it happened.
Right.
And if it didn't happen, Claire wouldn't know about it
And she
to tell them about it.
may not have been there.
You know
Right.
what? I would like. I'm about to just for about 30 seconds go full nerd on you. I just had a realization, which is that Outlander subscribes to the Doctor Who theory of time travel.
Yep.
Which is that there are fixed points
Yep.
in time that always have to happen the same way, and it's the minor details that change.
It's the minor the stuff
Right?
that's
So,
not
like,
in the
Claire
history book.
can
The stuff in the
save-
margins is the
Totally.
stuff
Claire
that
can
we've got
save
control
individual
over.
lives. Claire can make differences in the lives of minor figures, but there's no way Culloden isn't going to happen
Right.
the way that it is.
But
So
Jamie could live.
So what you're saying is that this show is ripe for a crossover.
Oh my God! I would give so much money to holy shit!
Okay, you guys. Should we talk about 1968?
Yes.
Is that a good segue
We're
to talk
almost
about
done.
1968?
We're almost done. We need one last little moment because we got to actually talk about this corpse punching. It's on reflection, it is maybe the most affecting moment of the entire season for me. No, I'm the only one.
No. I mean, I want Tobias Menzies to have
Tobias, my Smith.
to have some good shit to do going forward from this show, and I'm just afraid he's gonna be like the fucking Peter Krause.
No.
Like,
Dude, he's
you know-
already
No,
on
no,
Game
no,
of
no.
Thrones.
No,
he's
he's
doing
not.
fine.
Yeah, he's on Game. Lots of people are on Game of
Here's
Thrones.
why I
Did you
tell
know
you-
he's on Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, of the one episode I saw of Game of Thrones.
No, all I mean is
Here's
You're
why
telling.
I'll tell you he won't.
okay,
Because of the scene that he has with Claire when she first comes back in 1948 in front of the fireplace.
because he's so good.
He's so fucking good.
This is what I'm saying is that I just hope
He's
that
cool.
I get to see that actor, and this is outside the Outlander thing, but I just hope I get to see opportunities for that actor to, on a large stage, do the work that he's capable of doing.
That's why he should be the next James Bond. We've already said it.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say this. It will probably not surprise anybody to know that it's likely that we will see some of what happened to Claire in between when she came back
Between
and when 1968.
So between 48 and 68.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's
okay.
extremely
so we're gonna
unlikely.
get some Frank, you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't worry, you're going to see Tobias Menzies in the next Underworld movie.
Ooh.
Oh, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's Peter Krause shit.
He's gonna be fine. No, he's making that money, but he'll be back on Outlander. It's fairly certain.
Crossed. Like you're
and,
right.
and I feel
He's
like I've said
doing
Peter Krause a couple times. I want to be clear that I think Tobias Menzies is better than Peter Krause.
I also think that he.
But-
Whoa. Have you watched Sports Night, bro?
I love Sports Night.
Let's
bro.
reel it back in.
Sorry.
bro.
Okay. Sorry.
So, I think that is a fitting transition, right? Because we're talking about the final moments in the episodes before the finale, and let's just summarize the finale that doesn't happen in 1968 real briefly. No, I don't want to go back. No, I don't want to go back. No, I don't want to go back. Fucking, and then she goes back.
Yeah, you guys covered that beautifully.
Right?
You did, but can I say, is that a weird moment, Neal, as a husband? As a non-husband, can I ask you as a husband, is that a weird moment to say, hey, let me take your hand, my lover, the one that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with, put it up on a dick rock, full well knowing I'll never see you again.
Are you trolling my husband right now?
Yeah.
100%. We want clicks, right?
Also, knocked up. She knocked up.
Well, yes, because apparently another thing that fucking Sam.
No, but he wants the baby to live. So actually, yes.
No,
right?
yeah, but okay, here's the thing I'm not good at. Like, okay, hey, listeners, at one point in time, I had a long-term relationship. I never once measured her cycles.
Kevin, what's your question?
My question is this. It's a two-parter. Part one.
Hold on, everybody.
Two-parter.
What's your
Part
question?
one, which is a joke. Do you measure your wife's cycles?
No.
Part two. Would you, as a husband, I know that there's a lot of moments going into this, but I feel like that moment was incredibly rushed. I feel like that moment wasn't fully earned on both actors' parts.
I saw the show too.
You're putting your wife's hand on a dick rock knowing you're never going to see that human being
I think
again.
the question is, would you do it?
Would you do it?
There we go.
I was getting there, Janine.
I mean, you took 5 minutes to open.
I'm curious about this answer, honestly, because to me that moment feels... I didn't dig the dick rock sex, but I think that moment is totally earned. So I'm curious about what you have to say.
Yes, I would.
Oh, I just got a little teary. I'm not going to lie.
Stunned silence in the room.
Well, that's because, you know what? It's because Neal loves his wife.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Julie, by the way, is also a little dusty right now.
You're making the right choice.
Janine
right?
is pretending like he's not crying until he is.
It's fine.
You're doing the best thing for your family, which I totally get, but you're also saying at any given moment, at this moment, we could desert and nobody would know.
Kevin, you want to talk about 1968, don't you?
Here we go, 1968.
Guys, how hot are Gilly's red tights in 1968?
So, real quick, briefly, extremely briefly, because we've already at length gone on about the virtues of Tobias Menzies and the driver, our motorist, right?
Dr. Dre, you forgot about Dre.
I'm sorry, I did. Once again, I forgot about Dre. So our first excursion into the future, right, is in the first episode of season 2, when Frank basically says, like, hey, I know that you think at least that you married another dude in the past, and I know you're wearing a very accurate corset.
God, you guys, we have so much shit to cover in 1968.
Nah, this is real brief. Can we just talk about that? He's
Can
very
we make
good.
it 5 questions?
5 questions.
Can we do it?
5 questions.
I don't
These are
know
only
what the-
5 questions, and we can
know,
only
like,
say
can we-
these 5 answers. 5
Can we
questions.
tear everything down?
Just real quick, one thought about the only episode that we spend in 1948, which is Claire and the Motorist.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frank and Reverend
I
Wakefield.
mean, it's okay. So here's my thought about that episode, about that little mini arc, is that again, Tobias Menzies just fucking killing it left, right, down the middle, wherever it is, it's dead because he's there. He's ready for it. I told Julie this at the time. I didn't actually love the moment where it looked like he was going to get violent with her. where they try to do this whole like, oh, there's a little Blackjack Randall and Frank moment. I didn't love that moment because it's more interesting to me if Frank is completely his own person played by the same actor than the opposite. And so that whole thing where he looked like he was going to hit her or whatever, I didn't love that at all because I hadn't had that sense from that character. I didn't have that sense afterwards from that character. It was that one little moment.
Did you see that episode in season 1 where he beats the shit out of somebody and almost kills him?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Was it in the first half of season 1?
It was the last episode in the first half of season 1.
Because I watched that shit live, so that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. I think, and actually, the show does a better job.
What I'm saying is, it pulled me out of what was a fucking awesome scene between the two of them. Mm-hmm. It pulled me out of it.
Okay.
No,
because I felt like they were manipulating me into like, oh, I see Blackjack and Frank.
So Kevin differs.
Hardcore disagree. I am Team Frank all the way. To me, Frank is the most tragic figure in the entire series.
Truth.
And I'm just unbelievably saddened by any bad shit that happens to Frank.
Yeah.
I can understand why, because there is that moment of dark in everybody. And I love the fact that okay, yeah, in the pilot episode, they tie them into just based off look alone. But I love that when they come back in this 1948 version of Frank, who spent 3 years tirelessly looking for his wife.
Yeah.
That when there's a hint of it and something goes wrong, he just snaps. That to me,
it worked for you.
Oh, 100% worked for me. Because everyone thinks that she just ran off some other dude. And he has to cling to the fact that after they spent a war apart.
Oh, I like it. That he was certain that she hadn't run off to another dude.
He has to be.
And despite the crazy circumstances that she's telling him, the core of it, what you're saying is the core of it is that she did end up with another dude.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant by that dude when they failed to get pregnant.
Yeah, she didn't run off to another dude. She ended up with another dude.
And since she left, he's confirmed that he can't have children.
Right.
But also clearly loves her. And here is the difference. The Claire-Frank relationship in the books is complicated. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I like most about the adaptation is that Frank in that episode is far more sympathetic than Frank in the books. And it makes sense that he's angry. And he's angrier in the books. But that he recognizes that, like, she's been through a trauma. She's obviously physically unwell because she's malnourished and shit, right? And she's pregnant and she's terrified. And best case scenario, she's insane. Worst case scenario, she actually legitimately traveled in time and now is emotionally wrecked.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, there's no happy ending. And the fact that he, instead of like forcing her off to America, which is kind of what happens in the books, he sort of refuses to give her a divorce. Mm-hmm. And then she, because she doesn't have any fucking willpower, just acquiesces to it. On the show, it's like he says, listen, I don't care that it was somebody else. I want to raise this child. I love you. I think maybe eventually we'll be able to find a way back together. Mm-hmm. Come with me. And then he burns her fucking corset in the backyard. Mm. And like, God, he's just so fucking good.
But you have to. Burning the corset was an absolute. I wanted to be really clear. It was an absolute necessity scene for me of signifying that, listen, what you have done in your past, you've done, but we have to start anew. Otherwise, this will never work. And I loved it.
I think Kevin just turned Neal around on that episode.
I am a hardcore team Frank.
No, not because all I'm saying is
I think Neal is probably team Frank as well.
Well, my reaction is still like the reaction I had in the moment, right? I hadn't seen the violent Frank stuff that you're talking about from season 1 since it aired.
It's very brief.
And so my reaction that I had to the moment I'm talking about is the reaction I had. Now, I absolutely appreciate, but I totally appreciate what Kevin is saying, but it's not, I'm not going to, I still feel like, it still feels like to me, like they were trying, I still believe that the television show, Outlander, was trying to say, there's a little Blackjack and Frank.
But there is.
I know, but it felt a little pushed, especially after his such subtle work in the scene before, because he was so dropped in and so like listening to her. And so, I mean, I understand being angry. It did feel a little melodramatic.
I have a question. Is he the most robbed of the Outlander cast who didn't get an Emmy nomination?
Yes, Tobias
he's
Menzies.
so
Yes,
fucking
he
good.
should have had an Emmy nomination.
Hold on. I just want to say, because before we linger on this too much, just because we're running a little long on the episode.
Everybody loves it. Don't you? All six
Is
of
there?
you.
I mean, do you guys? Would this be a good time for a lightning round for you guys to just ask us questions you have about what we think about 1968?
We'll get there, but actual answer to the question I just asked you.
Okay.
Is he the most robbed of the people who didn't get Emmy nominations?
I don't pay attention to the Emmys, so I'll say yes.
So none of them got Emmy nominations.
Nobody did. None of the actors
None
did.
of the actors did, including guest actors. So that includes Simon Cowell.
He's awfully good. Look, she's really good
yeah.
too.
I assumed she
But-
was going to get one just because of Faith.
But he's awfully goddamn good.
What about you? What do you think?
Okay, so I don't fully know the rules off the top of my head, but I feel like he's in like just enough episodes where he doesn't qualify as a guest actor anymore. And I think that
he would be supporting. When he was nominated for a Gold Globe, it was
he would be supporting, right? Because it's like, I think it was like one too many episodes that he was in to disqualify him from being a guest actor. But he is, in my opinion, by far the best actor in
So
the series.
No
The
doubt.
answer is
no
yes.
doubt. I think he's the best actor.
I think
All right.
in either category he should have been nominated.
So 1968.
Okay.
So we get a real brief flash in the middle of the season where we see tiny child Brianna, right?
At the library looking at birds.
The worst color corrected scene I've ever seen.
Okay, I didn't notice that, but I'm going to trust you on it. Then 1968. So we meet adult Roger, who we meet in season 1 as a tiny child.
As the baby in Reverend Wakefield's house.
Yes.
We're back in Reverend Wakefield's house.
Then we meet.
Different from Gilf, also solid beard game.
Yeah, good beard.
Yeah, solid beard. Closer to your beard.
Yeah, actually close to
Okay,
me.
But I'm going for Gilf, man.
Everybody fawned over that dude, and Claire herself even said like, "Oh, good figure." I didn't see it.
Oh, I would.
No, he's an attractive man, but I'm not looking at him and
Yeah.
that like turtleneck being like, "That's
Yeah.
a good figure."
Kevin, choose your battles.
I will die on this hill, sir. I will die right now.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
man.
I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't fuck him no matter what. Would you fuck him, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd
Hey,
fuck him
look,
too.
No,
here's what-
attractive,
no,
but
Kevin-
not great.
Kevin,
Oh, I
let
thought he was
me
great.
tell you this. This is my perspective on this. Is I have been with the same woman for
Almost 20 years.
Come this November, 20 years.
Congratulations.
God,
And I've-
somebody kill me, Billy.
And I've had this conversation a million times of like, is that dude hot? Like, and I'm 50% surprised by the answer. 50% of the time I'm surprised by the answer. So what I'm saying is like the chances that you and I like can nail down what is and is not hot for cisgendered members of the opposite sex is, not great odds.
So, Julie, is that dude hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's real hot.
Here's what it is.
Also a good actor. Does a very fine job.
Well, he, frankly, and we talked about this in our podcast.
Frankly?
I get it. He acts rings around the girl that cast as Brianna.
100% yes.
Yes, but
I hope she's better next season.
I mean,
Anyway.
it's like Claire and Jamie in reverse.
no,
right?
no, she's worse than Jamie.
Maybe.
So here's what's great about the guy that plays him. He looks really good, but he's kind of like a normal dude, but kind of like just a little bit hot guy. But then he's so attentive and such a good listener, and he makes hilarious jokes, and he does. It's just everything.
The rat satire.
The rat satire is a panty dropper.
The rat satire for sure.
Panty dropper.
In my opinion and view and what I've fucking lived through,
Minority.
no,
Yes.
not the case. Like, not the case. I thought that he was a great actor. I think he absolutely acted rings around Brianna. Is that her name?
Yeah, Brianna.
Brianna.
She's not
Listen, Redhead. He acted rings around Redhead. But I was just kind of like, I think that you could have found a lot more attractive men to do exactly what
No,
that guy
no,
did.
it's
No,
perfect.
no.
It's perfect because he's not Jamie.
Shut up, Janine.
You can't ever have Jamie again.
No, you don't need another James. All right, whatever. Talk. Ask us lightning round questions. Go.
All right, fine.
All right, that's fine. Lightning round, that's fine. So I'm going to aim this particular question at Kevin, although it's obviously for both of you and for Julie and Janine as well, because now we're in the episode Janine has seen, right?
Yes.
So let's spend just a minute talking about Galis Duncan, aka Jillian Eggers. Kevin, what do you think about old Galis?
Okay, so I was beyond excited to see her come back.
Red tights first.
Ooh, boy, those red tights. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. They were great, but also that they actually gave her some sort of an arc besides those red tights of where she was, what she wanted with the Scottish Revolution, what she really thought about the BPD, although it was wrong. Jumping ahead to the end of the episode, it was insane to see her burn a man alive to just go back through some dick stones. That was insane to me. Mm-hmm. That was an iPad down moment. But I very much was excited to see her come back, to see her challenge Brianna. Brianna, that's her name, right? Yeah. To challenge young Jamie. It was that was like a really great tete-a-tete between those two. But I was really happy to see her go full crazy into her spiral back to go back in time.
Mm-hmm. Neal, what do you think?
I generally agree with everything that Kevin said. Having gone back and to watch the second part of season 1.
Oh, had you not seen The Devil's Mark until today?
I hadn't seen The Devil's Mark. I hadn't seen The Witch Trial and all that stuff.
Maybe my favorite episode of the season today.
So watching all that stuff after all this stuff kind of reinforced the feeling that I'm pretty sure she would vote for Donald Trump. Like, and I come from that. I come at that from a place of like, there are people who are good people who would do that because they have crazy ideas about the world despite being good people. And I kind of just think she's an asshole. I kind of just think she's a real asshole. And nothing about 1968 like changes that. I mean, she burns her depressed husband alive as a sacrifice so that she could go back in time to try to somehow help Prince Charlie like succeed in the Jacobite Revolution.
She's an extremely selfish human being. There's no doubt about it.
Sucks.
No, she's
an interesting character,
but it was
as
great.
a human being, she's awful.
Yeah. As somebody that has watched all of the series, it was just really great to see her again.
We screamed out loud. Neal, had you left by that point when we were watching?
Well, I was there.
You were there.
And you reacted, and I went like, why?
Yeah. Well, because you didn't know.
Because I didn't know.
I was so happy to see her again, but then when I saw what happened with her 1968 husband, and then I pieced that together with what happened with her Scottish husband.
Yep.
I was like, oh, no, she's a fucking serial killer. Okay.
She's a selfish woman, out for her own shit.
Well, and then serial killers are fascinating.
And this goes into season 1 territory, but she also saves Claire's life.
She does. Right. And that's why I said that there are good people that are going to vote for Donald Trump.
I think it's because she thinks Claire is there to help the cause.
She knows that Claire is not there to help the cause.
Again.
All right.
It is totally make Scotland great again. But she knows that Claire is not because she knows Claire came back by accident.
But she is totally make Scotland great again.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. Anyway, Lottie Verbeek, who also killed it on season 2 of Agent Carter. If you haven't seen Agent Carter, she's
so good.
She could not be more different. She plays
Mrs.
like a
Jarvis
human
for fucking ever.
ray of light, like a human cupcake. She's the best. It's great.
R.I.P. Agent Carter.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back on our place. Anyway, okay. Other 1968 stuff. So we're not into Brianna. We have mixed feelings about
just the
Roger.
introduction into 1968 was great. Because
The Avengers.
Hey, listener. Yeah. Here's the thing that you should know about me. So as a fame whore per Allison Shoemaker, I started watching the series. She gave me her Stars account. Sorry, Stars. And
Get arrested.
and yeah, I'm so sorry. You're gonna get arrested for this.
Can't wait.
So I watched the first episode and I went, wait, I think I'm wrong. I'm like watching the wrong series right now because this is not in the Highlands of Scotland. And I was very confused. And so to jump forward into 1968, this episode also is very jarring and that they are showing you black and white TV from the Avengers, like Neal pointed out. It very much punches you in the face with, we are no longer where we should be. Because the last episode leads you off to think, hey, all right, cool, we're going to see the Battle of Culloden.
Yeah.
The bio that Stars gives the episode leads you to think, hey, I'm going to watch the Battle of Culloden. And you don't. You start off in 1968, and this episode is predominantly 1968.
Well, that's one of the things I love about it because we stop knowing what happens in Scotland when Claire leaves.
Yeah. And also, I mean, they open with television.
Yeah.
Which is something that is not a thing where Claire is from.
Yeah.
Right? Claire's from what the fucking...
1948.
And we've said this already, but
1948.
when we were watching that episode, it took Julie like a full 30 seconds to realize it was Claire.
That foxy piece of ass. Old Claire. By the by, I think is probably the sexiest Claire.
This has been Dudelander.
Guys, this is Dudelander. Call in right now if you have a differing opinion on how sexy Claire
even though
is.
with her fake ass hair and her minimal makeup and her minimal age up makeup, like you still think this is like sexiest Claire?
I'm sorry, Claire clearly takes great care of her skin. She's a doctor.
No, so this is...
I was beyond the moon enthralled with that Claire. I thought that Claire, I was like, all right, listen, Claire, beautiful woman. Even in Scotland where she can't wash her hands after she poops, she doesn't have a tampon. I get it.
I don't know what any of that means.
I was like, okay, she's beautiful then.
Okay, all right. So
She comes in and she's 1968.
I'm reeling it.
Wait a minute. I don't know what any of that was
And
either.
I'm reeling it in because we're gonna wrap up with the scale. Unless you've got like
Beautiful Claire.
like a real insight you need to offer about Claire's pooping
Son
and
going down over
tampons.
Dick Rocks is dumb. Kevin disagrees for some reason.
I think, no,
Roger's amazing. Roger's amazing. I'm gonna give it. That's my big point. Fuck you.
No, Roger's
It's the
a,
only episode Janine has seen.
Roger's a
love
great
Roger.
actor. He's a great actor, but I don't think they cast the most physically attractive person for that
You
role.
are so.
That's a heterosexual
Yes, they did.
male. All right, now.
Okay,
So you've both listened, listeners at home. You
Oh,
presumably
God,
have listened before.
I'm so nervous.
You don't need to be.
Nah, man.
You guys-
I've never even
okay,
thought
no,
about this
I
until
know,
I
I
did
know.
it.
Plan it in advance.
Okay.
We
I know.
have we have 3 scales.
I love this part of the show so much.
So this is season 2, all of season 2 in your dude tiny walnut brain.
Yep.
All right, so
Truth.
let's start
All right.
with the costume scale.
And I know that's harder for Kevin, but I think he can get on there.
It's okay. You watch movies and television, you know what's up. On a scale of, so we're incorporating Scotland in 1968. Let's say
dudes and
on a scale of modern era Doctor Who.
We're talking about all of season 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Modern era Doctor Who post Eccleston.
God, I don't even know. Okay. All right.
that's hard.
the fuck
Let's
does that
say
even
Billy
mean?
Piper years.
I don't think we know what that means.
It means
All right, I need
No,
a
no,
different thing.
just
The beach! Oh, it's so sad.
I was trying to come up with something that would involve time travel.
Okay.
All right, let's do something else. Let's
All
say
right.
on a scale of time travel episodes of Star Trek. Oh, that should be the higher one. Never mind. On a scale of Wishbone. Okay.
Neal is too old for Wishbone, but I think he
I'm just
knows
gonna
what it
roll with
means.
it. I'm just gonna roll with it.
To all of the time travel episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Where does season 2 of Outlander fall on that scale?
Star Trek: The Next Generation is the high.
They only
But
have
remember,
like 3 or 4 of those.
You guys remember.
Oh, the holodeck ones.
Yeah, all the holiday
Yes.
shit. Yeah.
You remember, you don't actually have to use either one of
No.
those.
You say
Okay.
whatever.
You just say
Okay.
So where does it fall? Costumes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say this is gonna fall in like season 6 of Quantum Leap.
Oh, sweet. All right, what about you?
I'm going to Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to go with...
Damn it, I got a new answer.
I'm going to go with, I believe,
You
the
Can
Martin
Fly?
Lawrence film Black... I don't know. I have no basis for this.
All right, so
The only correct answer is Time Bandits.
Time Bandits. Oh,
Is the only correct answer.
Costumes are great, and their Time Bandits great.
Time Bandits.
Okay.
Don't
And
touch
that's-
it. It's evil.
it's a very appropriate week in which to say that. Mm-hmm. All right, so our next scale is the boating scale.
Season
For
2.
season 2.
Season 2. So we're gonna go. Julie, do you have a suggestion? You want to pick the low point?
For the low point, we're gonna go. What's the movie with the David Lynch movie with the tractor?
The Straight Story.
Straight Story.
Yep.
All right,
That is a G-rated David Lynch movie.
and I'm
It is
for,
legit G-rated. No
for
doubt.
the high. I'm
Richard Farnsworth on a tractor across the United States.
Got nominated for an Oscar for that and then died.
For the high,
That's how
I'm
that
going to go
goes.
straight the scene in Fear where Reese Witherspoon gets finger banged on a roller coaster.
Oh fuck.
Where does it fall on that scale?
That's
I'm going to go...
man.
Hey, listener, here's the thing you should know about me. I'm going to go with MacGruber because there are sex scenes in MacGruber, but they're not at all what you want them to be.
All right, Neil, what about you?
No.
Classic
Can't top it?
Yeah, Kevin Lambert for life.
Classic MacGruber. Classic MacGruber.
That's great. All right, so the last scale is the most important scale, which is
awesome.
That's really great.
MacGruber.
Yeah!
It's not how that song.
You're fun.
So the last scale is the most important scale, which
In your butt?
season 2 as a whole. How often are you willing to get up and get another beer? And this scale for the two of you will be skewed because Kevin's actual scale is when do I look up from my iPad?
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and you both provide your own. So your scale is actually the iPad scale. Yours is still beer.
All right.
So on a scale of, I'm going to bring back a classic. Julie, are you okay if I repeat
Of
something?
course.
On a scale of Ken Burns' Civil War to Ken Burns' baseball.
I have no idea which is the highest.
That's a really
I really have no
narrow
idea.
scale.
Ken Burns' baseball is the high. We'll change it.
high?
Yes. Ken Burns' baseball is
I think you gotta flip that.
No, Ken
In
Burns'
the 6th inning? It's great.
No, I'll flip it. So we'll say on a scale of, we'll just make it more broad.
Okay.
PBS documentary.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. You're cool.
To how about speed? I do speed all the time, but I'm happy to repeat it.
That's fine. Baseball of the Civil War is fine.
No, we're sticking with Ken Burns to speed.
PBS documentary to the movie Speed.
Oh, okay.
PBS
All right.
documentary low, the movie Speed high.
Which
I'm sorry,
which is
that
Ken
should be
Burns.
obvious.
Ken
which
Burns
is,
is still PBS. That's what that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I thought you were saying that Ken Burns directed Speed. I would watch the shit out of a Ken
I
Burns
would watch
directed
that
Speed.
because I would get to hear some amazing voiceover work. What do you think?
I'm gonna say because I did occasionally feel fine like walking away to go get a drink, but not a lot. I'm gonna say The Matrix 2.
But not the Matrix 1 because Matrix 1 you never leave.
No, Matrix 1, you're into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matrix 2 you're
All
like,
right,
I can
Kevin.
take a
And
minute.
Matrix 3, you're like, where's the cat?
I gotta go.
God, I feel like that was a little harsh.
No,
That was a little harsh, but I'm gonna stick with it.
You're being honest.
Okay.
All right.
So, on a scale from a PBS
iPad
documentary...
iPad down to iPad up.
Okay, from the scale of...
No, the scale is I have no idea what's happening because Sudoku is more interesting. To iPad down. That's low to high for Kevin.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so I'm still going to use a movie reference.
Hit
That's
it.
fine.
I'm going to go... Okay, on the scale of iPad down to like... iPad down that's insane. iPad up, I don't really care. I'm going to go Expendables 1. Because there are legit moments where you put that iPad down and you go, my God, they are doing great things storytelling wise. They're doing great things acting wise. This is great. This is gripping. I love it. But there are, especially in the France half, moments where you're just like, I could put this iPad in my face I just listen to a great gripping podcast like Podlander Drunkcast, and they'll fill in all of the blanks for me. Unless they're on iTunes and you can't get the first few episodes.
I'm fixing that.
Am I crazy, or do we just give the same answer?
We gave the
You kind
exact
of gave the
same
same answer.
All right.
Expendables
But,
1 and Matrix 2 are kind of...
But I feel like
great movies.
I do feel like I was harsh because there's so many moments I really do love in season 2 of this show.
But that's the point of the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
to say, like, there are great moments, but there are some shitty.
I felt like I was generous because Expendables 1 has Dolph Lundgren in it.
I don't know. Maybe I should have said Kindergarten Cop or something. Right?
Kindergarten Cop
There's
is
so many
awesome.
great moments.
No, Kindergarten Cop is balls to the wall.
No, I would never.
stops
I
being
would
awesome.
never have an iPad in my face during Kindergarten Cop.
But at the same time,
I have
it's
a ferret.
ridiculous.
I'm
but it never
really
stops being
back
awesome.
in right now. So, this has been Dudelander. I thought it was great. Julie, did you think it was great?
Well, that's pretty good.
Janine, do you think it was great?
I really enjoyed this.
Kevin and Neal are apparently they're disagreeing about whether or not they should do a
first
bit.
base to third base signaling each other.
They really doesn't matter. I want to thank them both for being here, though.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
They'll be back when we do season 1. And yeah, Kevin, don't worry, you're fine. Because mostly just because I want to talk to you more about Gail Duncan. And I'm so glad that they were here. If you're listening and you think, man, this was really fun, please rate us a review. Cheers to people over in reviews since the last time we talked about how lovely those reviews are.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, like every time, seriously, we just send emails about how great it is. The person who sent us a Facebook message about how great the show is, thanks to you, like it really makes our day. So please keep listening. Please tell your friends. We're going to be back in October. So we're taking September off, and we'll be back doing season 1 in October, episode by episode, just like we have. At the end of it, we'll do an awards, and then we'll do a Dudelander, maybe 2, we'll see. Before we start season
Possibly
3.
with all due guests.
If you have shit that you want us to talk about in season 1, let us know. We'll do it because we think that you all 6 of you are great. I don't have anything else to say. I'm Allison.
I'm Julie.
And this is Kevin and Neal.
Sing me a song of
it's
a
up.
last that is gone.
And this is Janine.
Nope, let it go.
No, let Janine say us hello. Janine has a fan base. Come on, Janine.
I said hello. Let them hear the song. Let's go.
Oh!
Mary of soul, she sailed
This is
on
Podlander
a
Drunkcast. We'll see you.
over the sea
And now fade out, Janine.
to sky.
Here's where you'll fade out.